Just completely organized time. He never allowed himself to be run over by time. When you are in a mode of passion, you always think, when I run faster, I get more done. Actually, by the end of the day, you don't get so much done because there's no brain involved. You just run, and actually you start to destroy things. And at the end, you end up with frustration, despair, these shouts of passionate people. You're all nuts! It's crazy! And then comes ignorance. From mode of passion always comes ignorance. But in Krishna consciousness, the advantage that the activities we perform are purifying, hopefully bringing us to mode of goodness. Hopefully. And goodness means planning. Okay, now I do like this, now I do. It's like a strategical game, the whole thing. Oh, now the body is collapsing. Take a rest. How much? Controlled. And you go up again. Constantly. It's like a warfare, It's like a strategical warfare. This is something you learn very quickly on Sankirtan because you save any bit of energy you have. And we did lots of destruction on the way. I don't want to instruct you how to take showers by minus 10 degrees on a frozen fields, with ice cold water. Yeah, it had one advantage. I remember after a few years of this, I didn't feel the body anymore. Much. Really not. Maybe even today I don't feel much pain, I just realized this is turning black. I don't know where this comes from. It was last time I worked with a hammer. I had a finger, I was going boom, there was a line like this, I was saying, where's this coming from? I hold a piece of wood and I was going with this line. I was going and then I realized it was always getting bloody. Oh, yeah, okay. I really don't feel that so much. Other people go, ow. I don't know ow before I say ow, it takes a long time. It's not good. Because actually the body is designed to send out warnings. My warnings comes always too late. When I feel I go, okay, that's too late. Maybe some after effects from this what we did on Sankirtan because we didn't feel the body anymore. When you shower with ice cold water for 4 years like this, by -5, the body becomes like steel. It's just like, I don't feel much. And that's not so good. That's okay for some yogis in Himalaya. But we are supposed to use this body in devotional service while we are working in an environment which is hostile. But we should just try to do the maximum with that. So again, mode of goodness is required. And that's, for that kind of meditation, in the mind, the absolute requirement. When we are not in a mode of goodness, we can forget that. Because we have to chant loud, surround ourselves with good association. This is a strategical steps to control the mind and meditate about Krishna. Therefore Prabhupada put the association first, not the silent meditation. He didn't tell the hippies, go home, put Krishna in your mind, install him on an altar, and offer, They will go, great, but their minds, I don't know what LSD can do to people because I never came close to the substances, but it's terrifying. One trip on this, your mental body is lifelong damaged. Lifelong. Because we don't think in the damages when it comes to mental body. We know what it thinks when we damage the physical body. It hurts and it can be broken and it can be even amputated and it could be all kinds of things. What about the mental body? This can be so damaged that like I know these people who actually were on LSD, they are permanent, their lifelong on overdrive. Just Radha Krishna. It's LSD. There is such a thing. The mind is extremely deceiving. It puts you like in a seat and there's this big projection screen. The mind is compared with a projection screen, mirror. So when it's agitated, it mirrors, it reflects completely false identities. And you look, wow, that's me in the movie. Look, wow, that's just a movie. And then the worst thing is, you think you are the movie. Look, that's me running here and there. Yeah, that's me, yeah. No, it's not you. It's just a mental projection. It affects even great, great yogis. It's called Vimukta Manina. In the mind, you can just come to understand, actually I became God. How did I do that? It's great. I feel like that. And look at the mystic powers I have. Yeah. We have experience in Kali Yuga even without mystic powers. People try to feel that they are God. Not to speak if you have some. Just imagine you can be smaller as the smallest and great as the greatest. You can create a whole universe. Just imagine how you feel. I did it. Basically, we can just create some words and pilots too. That's generally what we can create. But but you always think, oh God, yeah. I have good digestion. I'm God. This is so pathetic. And that's what Prabhupada very much stressed, to understand our position. He spent much of the preaching just to point out to people, you will die. You are miserable. No, I'm happy. I'm God. No, you are miserable. God has to go to the dentist. That was Prabhupada's proof. God has to go to the dentist. God doesn't go to the dentist. God is repairing himself. And actually he doesn't have to repair anything because he's perfect. So show me how perfect you are, please. Prabhupada said, they always sing, Gopichana Balaba Giridhari. Okay? Gopichana Balaba they like. They can do. I have many girlfriends. The friend of the gopis. Look, I have my Rasa Lila every night. Many girlfriends. That they can try to copy. Even Prabhupada said, they cannot. Their sex life is pathetic. But, then okay, you are God, you have your gopis. But where is the Giridhari? Lift up the Govardhan with a small finger. Just like this. Do that, please. Then we get respectful. Wow. No, that they skip. Prabhupada said, they always want to be Gopichana Vallabha. But the lifting Govardhan, not so relevant. So this is all, very easy to expose. So one should be careful about the deceiving activities of the mind, even in a mood of worship. Therefore, that's one of the instructions or advices I got. If I would ever come close to puja, deity worship, it's mainly in the mind. The mind is, is to be completely controlled. Therefore, you don't see, very rarely, you see pujaris engaging in prajalpa or being like flamboyant, outgoing personalities. Those real pujaris I met, they're actually very discreet and very concentrated people, even in their daily dealings. They are not like, because they know that the whole day is basically puja. You don't get out of control like this, because that will be reflected into your service. Whatever nonsense you talk, you will remember. Serve hypnosis. You will just talk yourself. People do that all the time. They listen to their voice and they say, my God, I'm so great. And they talk more and they go, I'm even greater as I saw. This is all Vimukta Manina. It's all mentally liberated, all deceiving. So we should not think Krishna consciousness is like that. We should not. We should be very cautious. So Prabhupada gave us a very solid set of activities to do, which will bring us down to reality. Even when you clean the floor in a temple, you have to concentrate. You cannot just go, and you step in a bucket. No, every activity. And this is called meditation. This is practical. And when it's done for Krishna, it's nearly purified. So therefore Prabhupada gave us so many physical challenges. So we learned we are using the body, controlling the mind. From book distribution, one thing, one thought, something else, not controlling the senses, immediately exposed. You immediately influenced. You immediately lose. You will be rolled over. Instead of you distributing Krishna consciousness, they will distribute the Maya to you. So it is like swimming. You cannot just lie in the water, and relax. You will go down automatically. Even there are waters which are very salty, like example, they carry you a lot, still you will go down. It's not your natural element where you should be. You are not a fish. So in the water you must swim. If you don't swim, down. So this is makes Krishna consciousness kind of challenging. Because we have to swim all the time. 24 hours a day. So mental meditation is absolutely, it's wonderful. And ultimately, by the end of our lives, it has to come to this. Because the physical activities will be diminished. More and more diminished. Even you see an example of Srila Prabhupada, what he could do with such an old body. I mean, amazing things. But it was still destroyed. And he said it himself. He said, this will go. I will die. It was destroyed. Especially by his traveling business. It was just consumed. Burned up. So this will happen to our body. Then at the end is, the Manasa Puja. That's at the end, because that's the only thing which cannot be destroyed. It's your meditation about Krishna. So this is to be trained the whole life. How to focus mind on Krishna. Always remember Krishna, never forget him. It's the only regulative principle we have. All other principles are serving that one. There's some questions?
Well, you mentioned one thing about the people being wrong and like how you have to be like conclusive with people, but often we find that we try to like get people to come closer to Krishna consciousness, and like if you tell a person that they're wrong about something, we know that from ourselves when we get told that we're wrong, then immediately.
Yeah, it depends how you do that. Prabhupada says, yes, but then he stick to the thing. It's not like you attack him, confrontational thing. Of course people cannot take this. But if he's a real rascal, then you have to do that. Just shut it down. That means when the offenses come up. For his protection. So he doesn't make more offenses. So, Prabhupada did that too. Said you are a rascal. But it depends very much on your purity, on your status. So one has to take this into consideration. So we should just deliver, we should just, insist to deliver the information. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I am not criticizing, I am analyzing. But that you want to be very firm. And let them freak out on this, what we can do. We want sincere people. We don't want people coming all the time, and I'm speaking really now globally, ruin this movement and introducing their own agendas. We don't want that. This is how ruined the church, this is what ruined all these established religions, because a bunch of people came in and they tried to turn it around. It's the natural inclination of the conditioned soul to adjust everything to their level of material desires. Yes, I will give donation, but you shut up. Yes, I will do service, but don't make me emotionally uncomfortable. This movement is meant to make people on the level of false ego emotionally uncomfortable. In the name of truth. Because that's the ultimate principle. And sincere people, they will appreciate that. They will be attracted, they will join because of this. They will not join because we are making blah, 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 blah. They will join because we say it's like this, it's not like this. I joined because of that. I'm not too sincere, but that was a real triggering point. I was thinking, wow, I never met anybody who is so convinced. There must be something in it. Otherwise, this is a madman or it's a fanatic. But it didn't really sound like this. So I became very curious. What is this? Because all the other people I met, my God, the 60s were full of it. Love and peace and la 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 la. You think, I think. You speculate, I speculate. You my friend, I will flower power. It was full of this. My God, I am allergic to that sound. Whenever they come with this, Because after one really meeting means sometimes, there will be different opinions coming up, there will be discussion, there will be a friction. One lady got up and had a board like this, and she painted a big heart. That was her message. We should love each other. My God, I would flip out. I was not a part of that meeting, fortunately. This is the conclusion. How long does it take before you become pregnant? That's material nature talking. I'm not saying against pregnancy, it's part of life, but that's how it goes. Hey, and they will tell you you're a fanatic, and they will tell you all kinds of things. So what? They can tell anything. We don't need this. We didn't join Krishna consciousness for that. Become popular. I don't want to go more in detail because we have so many popular programs in ISKCON, but nobody joins from this. Nobody changed their lives from this. Doesn't. What do you say, Vaishnava? He was going, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Wow. Millions of Hindus are doing that, and actually they don't change really much. They go, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, money. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, sex. Artha, Dhamma, Kama, Moksha. Is this the profile of this movement? You know what that means? That means piety, performance of religious rituals, economic development, enjoyment, pious. And then desire for liberation. Most of the time for some impersonal kind. This is not the program of this movement. It's nothing to do with that. It's a pious Vedic lifestyle. It has nothing to do with this. This is a movement to join and to mold your life constantly in any situation you are. And I'm not speaking about fanatic, everybody in a temple. We know that it is not going to happen. Prabhupada said himself. If you listen carefully what he is saying and you find it in his letters, he goes, no. These temples are just training base. Then people will go out and live their lives, hopefully with the maximum amount of Krishna consciousness. And they have to progress, they have to work on it. They have to go through the ashramas and they have to keep being guided, and spiritual guidance has to be there all the time. That's life. So why should we be called fanatics? Why? But of course, when we make a temple atmosphere where everybody is running around paranoid, it's not very attractive. That's not very attractive. People don't join routines, they don't join rituals, they join people. First time I came in a temple, it was completely empty. Don't think that there's something bad with an empty temple. Sometimes it's a very auspicious sign. You know why? Because everybody is on Sankirtan. So that's why I joined. I came in a temple, there was just one pujari and one older devotee, that means he was 3 years in Krishna consciousness. And he was just seemingly having time. He saw me and he said, you want to have a walk? I was going, oh, we can go on a walk, it's fine. So he took me on a walk and whatever I said, he demolished completely. Actually, he chanted, so I didn't say anything. Then he stopped me and said, you have no any questions or what? Why did you came here? And I said, well, you are meditating, I don't want to interrupt you. Then he said, you can speak to me any time. So I was going, okay. And I said, I was reading something from Aurobindo. He said, Aurobindo, it's just in my body. So I'm like, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. And I was again quiet. He said, you're not saying anything. I said, well, I read Siddhartha from Hermann Hesse. He said, that guy, he went nuts. He's a speculator. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And that was our conversation. Whatever I said, he demolished on the spot. I came back again. He even asked me, when I was going, thank you for the walk and fantastic food you have here. Bye-bye. And I said, where are you going? And I was going, I have to go home. Actually, I didn't have much of a home. I just had a student flat, a room. Where I lived with a very eccentric friend who looked like John Lennon and was taking LSD. So I just don't have very much to go for. I didn't like that here. But I said, no, I have to go now. He said, why go? Stay here. I was going, stay here? What? Impossible. And he was going, why? And I realized, my God, why? Why? I have nothing to go for. So why? It was not like I was saying, oh, I want to go back and have to have a good sex life. Not really. I just wanted to have my peace to speculate. And that I knew from the first moment by listening to him, that would be over. No place for speculation. That was scary, but extremely attractive. So I came again. And again he was, hey, a very sharp memory of people. That's a preacher, you know. He never forgets somebody. Hey! By that time there was 20 devotees there. He was going, hey, very nice you came. And then all the devotees were, actually nobody preached to me. They were running like mad, doing something very important, which I didn't know what it is. Actually, it was the first day, the first edition of the German Bhagavad Gita came out. They had a big celebration there. Just everybody walked with the book, and it was like, you know, wow, big version of Bhagavad Gita. So I just came. I didn't know that there's actually a plan for me already. I wasn't even the preaching room. Because I was supposed to be the one who distributed Bhagavad Gita. So I joined exactly when it came out. I didn't know about it. He didn't know. Krishna. They told me, this is the real book. So I bought a copy with the last money I had. I couldn't understand one word. But I said, this is something very important. I have to read this. It's just, you know, this is amazing. You know, this Sanskrit and all this, just the editing, it's complicated, you know. And all this, but I said, no, this is something very important because look at these people, they are mad after that book. So I was going, thank you for the Bhagavad Gita, thank you for the food, I have to go home. And my personal mentor and preacher said, he goes home to Mama. It was a straight hit on my false ego. I was going, what? I don't live with my mama. I'm 18 years old. I have my student flat. And then they were like, he goes to mama. That was the preaching those days. Oh boy, I felt insulted. And I remember that night when I came home, I had you could call it transcendental nightmare. I had a long dream where all these devotees came with these huge pink faces and they were all looking at me. You know, like emerging from everywhere, these people in saffron, you know, they're all, you know, and I was like, ah! I woke up and I said, my God, it's going to be me like this too. So I came again. Next time I came, he sat next to me when he took prasadam, and I had a hair up to here. Tried to be a hippie, but I wasn't a real hippie, I just didn't make it. So suddenly he turns around and just grabbed my hair like this. And he said, that will be the right haircut for you. And I was like, oh, he grabbed my hair like this in front of everybody. And he was like, big grin in my face. I was thinking, this man is never depressed, he's never, I mean, he's laughing all the time, he's laughing about me too. He's laughing all the time, this is crazy, he must be inspired or crazy, I don't know what he is. I never met people like this before in my life. Because mental people, that's another symptom of mental platform, they get very sad. It's very serious. So you have to watch the mind going back and forth. It's very serious business, you know. They get very... No, it's not easy. Whatever you say, they will say, it's not easy. I have to think about it. It's not easy. So just by looking at a person like this, you get so depressed you don't want to do anything. Because mental platform is extremely depressing. So that was not the mood I meant. So naturally, I came again, and that by the time there was nobody there. was just a Pujari. He was extremely attractive person. He was just like, for me it was flying. He was just flying around the art. He smiles that you want to stay here. It's very nice. He was very different than the others. Very quiet and very... He gave me prasad. In the afternoon, a devotee came and he said, "Hey, you want to stay here? It's very nice. I have a hobby." "Do you have a hobby? You have hobbies here?" "Yeah. My hobby is to cut off other people's hair." And he dragged me in a bathroom and he tied a leather belt on a heating. He pulled out this shaving knife. It was going... And he shaved me. With no soap, nothing. Just black. And I looked in the mirror, I was going, "Ah!" I saw somebody cut off my hair. First time shaved is a shocking experience. You know, I was going, "Ah!" You know, it's like scallop, you know, your brain is open. I was going, "Ah!" He looked at me with a big smile. He said, "Now you can think more peacefully. It's good for the mind, you know." And then I walked out of the bathroom and the response around me totally changed. Everybody meeting was going, "Jai! Haro! Prabhupada ki Jai!" You know, and I was like, "Wow, how do I fit into this?" And I had to, very quickly. It was such an act of mercy. It's taking me out of that mental pit and putting me right away in the front line preaching position, where you have no time to cultivate your mental platform. Zero time. What a relief. I'm eternally grateful to these devotees, which most of them I would not maybe meet today, but I remember the names, I remember the persons. They were very, even they were really rough with me, I have no complaint. Joy, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
No, Vishnu Krishna Krishna Krishna